But what's interesting about that band is the bass player that they used to have. I think his name is Carlos Dengler. Uh, from back in, I think he left the band like in 2010 or something like
Yes,
that.
sir. Right here, Carlos Dengler, bass guitarist, keyboard. Yep.
So this, I mean, what's fascinating about this band is that the bass player is just so pronounced, and he's just so like such a big deal of the band. You know, it's like usually it's like you got your singer, guitar player, and then like drums and bass player, like they're in the background. You know, but with this band, the bass player is very much in the forefront of the band, which is kind of crazy. Because how many bands can you think of out there where the bass player is a big deal? Like where it's almost like I don't want to say that I don't want to say the rest of the stuff is like a prop because it's really good. It's that would be an insult, but it's like I feel like I sometimes feel like the vocals are supporting him.
Mm.
So it's always interesting that when a band is able to give you a different look on something like that. But and another interesting thing is what I was reading is that he started out playing guitar, so he's not really like he's such a good bass player, but at the same time he said he doesn't really enjoy playing bass, which is kind of interesting. I never really read about a guy being really good at bass, but then doesn't really like playing bass. And I think that that's part of the reason why he quit the band.
I mean,
Like not he just was never really married to his instrument. You know, he's just he just didn't really. I thought that was really interesting. Hey, really, you're such a big part of the band. Uh, you're the bass player. He's such a big part of the band, and yet you don't even like playing bass. Huh.
what
I thought I heard it all. You know.
what album do you think he really found like this
Oh.
rhythm, this basis?
I mean, I think is it "Turn on the Bright Lights." I think is the. I think is that their
Yep.
first album? I think it
Yes, sir.
is.
2002, Turn on the Bright Lights.
Yeah, that album is like I think the second song off that album is their hit song. Um,
Uh,
yeah,
Obstacle One.
yeah, yeah, yeah. The yeah that whole album is something else, you know. Uh, and man, he really knows how to wail on that bass, and it's just because I think what he said was what I was reading is that he was used to playing guitar so much, and so when he transferred over to the bass, he wanted to be interesting. You know, he didn't want to be just like in the background, just supporting their rhythm guitars and just playing
Mm-hmm.
exactly what they were doing. So he wanted to kind of do a little more, be a little more, complex, I guess, and do more, add more to the band. So yeah, I mean, it's I really like when a bass player does that. And another thing too is really interesting is that he implements he's a DJ, right? The guy's a
Mm-hmm.
DJ, so he implements like dance music into like his bass playing, which is
Mm.
like it's like like the way he gallops on the guitar, the picking and all that. It's got like this dance feel to it. I was like this I don't want to say disco, but he kind of implements this like type of interesting feel that he brings to the table, like some type of dance disco type of like where he gallops on that on his rhythm, and he uses a guitar pick too, which is interesting. I thought he used a finger at one point, but he uses a guitar pick, which is interesting too. It's always interesting to see what the bass player is. He finger picking? Is he using a guitar pick? Because I mean, you're going to get a different sound. You're going to get a different look. It's going to be different, well, whether what you choose to the way to do it. You know, I mean, if you're finger picking, you're going to be able to play um, more notes. in a shorter period of time, right? Because you're going through, you're if you're finger picking, you're only going to be able to do like kind of one. You're kind of a little more limited, I would say. So it's got its pros and cons, but with the guitar pick, you're going to hear more of a solid hits on the.
Yeah, a strum, right?
It's going to make it's going to make a really solid pitch when you hit the string versus when you hit it with your finger, it's going to sound more muddy.
Okay.
So it's always interesting. I was surprised. I thought he was playing. I'm surprised when he's playing with a guitar pick. I was like, oh, okay. I mean, a bass pick, actually, not a guitar pick. Bass picks generally are a little bigger than guitar picks.
Okay, so this is a part of music I did not know. I did not know that they used a different pick. That's very cool. It's a cool little factoid.
Well, it makes sense because the bass is, the strings are bigger.
Oh,
right. So because you have to compensate with having a bigger pick, so in that way your pick can grab the strings better with a bigger pick. So that band, I've always liked that band because of the bass. The bass is just so prevalent. It's just so important aspect of that band. I haven't really heard of much of the new stuff, so I apologize for all the fans out there that are Interpol, huge fans. But man,